Hello, West Ham Network. I hope everyone's well. It's Holly. Now, the Brighton game has us all asking how on earth we keep throwing away leads. And today we're going to be running through the stats, the reasons, we're going to be talking about it. And of course, we're going to be asking for your opinion. Now, while the intro runs, it'd mean the world if you could give this video a little like, get involved in that discussion down below in the comments, give a thumbs up to those you agree with. And of course, make sure you subscribe to West Ham Network. Without further ado, let's go. Yes, West Ham Network. So this week, Alex, for any of you who haven't seen this post, made a brilliant point on social media, talking through the changes that we made and the ways that it invited pressure in that Brighton game. Now, you can see it on the screen here, but essentially, we've spoken about it before. What cost us was going defensive. And we have said this time and time again for so long. We have not been good enough for a very, very long time at defending to go defensive, ironically, because all this does is invite pressure on us, which we can't actually deal with. So Alex talks about how our 3 defensive substitutions and sitting deep from the 83rd minute in particular flipped the game that was somewhat under control. And for me, it's really interesting because obviously I believe that we invite pressure and it causes goals every time we go defensive. But seeing the stats when you can compare before we went this defensive versus after, really does paint a picture, shall we say. So you can see here that at the 83rd minute, things started to change and it went from one that was somewhat under control to one that was completely against us. Now, Brighton getting 9 shots, 4 of which were on target and 1 goal, sums it all up after we became more defensive, because it's like we presented Brighton with this unlimited number of attacks. And obviously, one of them snuck through the gaps and they score their goal. Before the 83rd minute, Brighton had 13 shots the entire 83 minutes and 0 on target. Now, I think that really does paint a picture in terms of why we suddenly struggle. Currently, given the way that we play and the way things flip when we do set up defensively, the only way that I would actually want us to play defensively is if we were able to play defensively in a way that meant we could still hold on to the ball and play positive football while having defensive players on the pitch that could make defensive contributions, better tackles, maybe last minute blocks, things like that they could do better. If you can't even hold possession and as a result you're just getting attacked with a couple of more defensive players on the pitch, it just isn't beneficial to switch it up in that way. And it feels like we've got so much work to do before we'll be able to get to a point where we can trust defensive players to set up defensively and actually make us better at not conceding goals. And one of the points in Alex's post as well, for anyone that hasn't read it already, I'll pop it back up. It referred to the positives of Nuno outweighing the negatives, but this is something that obviously we need to address, he's saying. And I couldn't agree more. I think Nuno is doing a good job so far. I think he was given a horrible project to start with, a horrible starting position. And we've shown that we can rescue points from losing positions. We've shown that we've got a stronger mentality than we had before. We're not seeing players flap arms and stare at the ground the moment that we concede, but there is still so much work to be done. And we've known this for a while. There was so much broken from multiple seasons under multiple head coaches. It was never going to happen overnight. We're seeing glimpses of Nuno instilling that better work ethic, that better mindset, that more resilient approach. But obviously with this, there's also points like most teams should be able to set up defensively and therefore be better at defending, that we're just not there yet. And I'm hoping that Nuno notices this. And I said it last week in my video, I believe right now our best form of defense is to attack. When we attack, we hold the ball. We make the other team have to defend so they can't all be just attacking us. We keep them on their toes and it has brought us chances, it's brought us goals and it's brought us results. But when we defend, it feels like it's just a matter of time before we concede. And obviously we need to fix our defensive issues so we can actually set up eventually one day to play defensively. But for now, I think we've just got to keep pushing for goals until the final whistle, because it just feels like the moment that we go defensive, we basically sit back while the other team just have the ball and get to try again and again and again to break through our defence. And even the best defences would struggle to be continuously attacked. And then there's West Ham's defence that it's just that bit easier for them to get through at the moment. So the other major reason we cannot go defensive is the same reason that in 83 minutes Brighton had no shots on target, and from then onwards they had 13 and 4 of them on target. And it's it's the disorganization that we have under attack. And obviously, once you're getting constantly attacked, this just gets worse because it's chaotic. Everyone becomes even more out of position. People are just flinging themselves trying to make blocks, and it's not structured in any way. And I know that this is a long-term project for us to fix all the challenges that we've got on our side. So I'm not surprised that we concede when we invite pressure. But simply put, I would love us to stop inviting that pressure. And hopefully Nuno is seeing the same thing that we are. And that's our best opportunity to get results at the moment is to attack. Will it leave us open? Absolutely. Does it make sense that this is our best way to hold on to a lead, is to go more attacking? No, like realistically. But when you look at the players and how we're actually playing best, it is. I think at the moment, unless we've got a 3-lead goal or more, we're just better off leaving ourselves even more open if we need to, and trying to get more goals than we are trying to hold the other team off, because it just doesn't seem to work. We don't hold them off. We end up scrambling around in the box, and we've not got enough awareness of what's going on because it's all just a panic and everyone's disorganized, and it keeps costing us. And this panic that sort of happens when, obviously, if you're getting attacked again and again and again, you get more disorganized, more out of position, players are out of breath, you've not been able to even make the opposition run in 5 minutes. So it gets a lot harder as you keep absorbing this pressure. But this pressure means that our split decision making is awful at times. They're not the right ones. We don't get goal side. We let players go. We don't mark up. We take ages to close people down, even outside the box. A perfect example is obviously Mavropanos didn't go down with that high foot in the box because it was all a massive panic and he's trying to get up and save everything. Whereas if he'd had the sort of ability to think for a second there and go, if I go down, play stops here, and we need to waste time however we can at this moment, that wouldn't have been a situation necessarily. But as well as him not going down with the high foot, which I was playing devil's advocate, I was saying, first of all, why on earth didn't he go down? Because it would have stopped play and it would have meant that wouldn't have unfolded. But at the same time, when players like Paqueta go down easily and the ref doesn't always blow, you're then so frustrated because players are diving around. So I suppose in a way I'm happy that he wanted to battle through, but that presence, that mindfulness in those panicky moments is what we're still really lacking. Because if he'd have gone down, the game would not have continued there. And then also, not just him, none of the other defenders got off the line quickly enough to defend the shot. So that happened, and you always see it. The defenders freeze, the attackers attack, and it gives them that meter, that centimetre, whatever it is that they need to get their foot to the ball first. And unfortunately, none of us reacted quickly enough after that situation with the high foot to do anything either. And these are the things where if it was a one-off attack, maybe you'd have a better chance of making the right decision. When you've been under pressure for the best part of 10 minutes, it's just not possible to make the perfect decision, go the perfect way, mark up in the perfect place, launch your body in the right way every single time to block the ball and stop a shot. So basically what I'm trying to say is, we said it before, our best way to defend right now is to attack, and our best way to attack is to attack. So what I think we need to do, we need to attack. So here's to going attacking against a very informed Villa. I want to know your thoughts on how you think we should set up. But for me, I'm almost certain every single game at the moment, we will lose if we set up defensively because we don't defend well enough. And then you're lacking those attacking players on the pitch. And I just want us to play the way that we know we can play. We've seen glimpses of it where we can hold the ball. We can play the ball out nicely to the wings. We can attack down different channels and catch the opponent off guard. We can do that, because I think the second you just sit back and defend, they don't have a single worry, the opposition. All they have is that creativity and freedom. And it's so rare that players get to play like that. When was the last time West Ham had a team that was just sitting back and we were just getting the ball and attacking and attacking and attacking? It wasn't happening, because you can't play football like that without losing. So hopefully Nuno's seen the same things that everyone else has, that we need to set up more attacking. And if it leaves us open and we concede as a result of that, personally, I'd prefer it, because number one, exciting football, I suppose. But number two, I just don't think we can defend. So there's no point in setting up defensive and putting more players that can't defend effectively for a full 90 minutes back there and hope that they can do something different. So goals, goals, goals. That's what I want to see. But let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about the whole situation of how we're setting up, what we need to do, attack versus defence? And I say, let's go for it. A Villa, there's nothing to lose as well. They're so in form. They score goals. They're winning left, right, and centre. So we need to go and outscore them. That's my mentality right now. So fingers crossed that's what we do. Fingers crossed that's what we go and do. We have players with the ability in our squad, but we need to really bring it out of them at the moment. And here's to a positive game. So let me know your thoughts on everything that's happening at West Ham. And if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. Give this video a little thumbs up. Thank you so much as always for watching. Has been a pleasure. And I'll speak to you all later today. We're going to be running through your Hammers headlines. Till next time, have a great one. Go smash the day. Make Wednesday your BITCH. And I will speak to you all soon. Irons.